Alright, here's what we pulled. This was all from the previous deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So they gave me 4 extras. So these are supposed to only have 28 cards total in them. But when they give you heavy packs, that's where the specialness comes from. So the top 3, actually I don't even know the top 3 pulls because there are some guys that are worth more. But as far as like art, we got this, got Dodgers, and finally we got Dave Festa. So I looked him up. Dave needs to get his stuff together. He's gotten himself injured. So he's going to be out for 2 weeks. Second-year rookie. And, yeah. See, that's what matters. When it comes to these autographed cards and stuff, he needs to have a real breakout. Otherwise, they're not worth anything. Like a rookie card like that, and if he doesn't really become like anything, it's like maybe $5 or something for the card. Maybe a little bit more later down the road, but I don't know. But the point is, it's baseball cards, either they hit or they don't. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. So yeah, legal framing and stuff. There's a lot of corrupt crap going on in this country. A lot of it, and I don't like it. I don't think anyone should be putting up with it anymore. Especially when we have artificial intelligence, and especially when we have the tools within our legal system to fix it. So it's kind of like this. We got this rookie card from Deshaun Kersey. We got All-Star. What is this? What is this? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. What is that? What does it even say behind him? All dash what? Is he something? I don't know. We got a squiggle card. And we got like this guy. Yeah, I'm a big fan of penny sleeves and top loaders. To me, that's the way that you preserve value of these things. It's part of the ticket cost. Got GameStop top loader. Yeah, just doing that is fine. You never want to put the cards into the top loaders before they're sheathed with a penny sleeve. If you do it the other way around, what will happen is you'll scratch the hell out of it. And then it loses money. It loses a lot of value very quickly. And if I hear the words print run ever again as like a thing, that word just makes me want to puke. That phrase, it makes me want to puke. I hate print run because everyone goes and freaks out about, oh yeah, it's happening now, and then they all pile on top of each other into the store. So annoying. Quick fact: Pokemon cards, the market for Pokemon cards is around 2 billion people. Market for baseball cards is around 500,000 people. But baseball cards are a much more liquid market because wealthier people are involved in them. We got this guy, Nick Gonzalez, the Pirates. We got Fernando Tatis Jr. Boom. And we got this guy. Oh, wow. We got 5 in this pack. All right, so we got Connor Giuseppe. And we got this guy, Gunnar Henderson. Then we have Jan Lopez. You know what? The words aren't wording. Alright, so we got this. Got this thing. Let's see. Should I go into a huge thing on legal corruption? Honestly, I just spent an hour talking about that kind of crap. So right now for this video, I think I'm just going to chill. Just chill. It's like, why would you want to listen to a whole bunch of granular nonsense? And all this negative crap. There's a reason lawyers drink. So I've got like 1,000 of these penny sleeves today. And what's funny is I'm actually going to I actually need them. That is the crazy part. So what you're going to see is some video of me just sleeving cards and commenting on them as I'm going through. That'll be coming up next. That and more legal, because I know that's why you're here, half of you, because I've been stirring things up with my tender offer. So yeah, the tender offer for Interactive Corporation, you know what, let's just start talking about it now. $70 a share, that's like what, $5.8 billion. Considering all things, I don't think it's even worth that much. But I need to actually offer something that makes sense to the public. And it's not even about their actual value now, it's what I believe I can do with the company, with me at the helm of it. And with a company like that that's media facing, it's a platform for activism. It's a platform for accountability, just like I'm using YouTube right now for accountability. It's a platform for that. It's a bigger platform for that. It scales faster, and you know, it's just an all-around good idea to do that. Barry Diller is a respectable media man, and he's just someone that right now he's very he's old, and the order of succession, likely, you know, family or something, probably, maybe von Furstenberg, Alex von Furstenberg, maybe one of the other ones there. Could even be Joey Levine would be going back in at some point, you know, to do that, because he does have the experience, he does have the knowledge. You know, all those people are potential candidates, but you know what they do? They don't do anything that innovates, really. In fact, they're in the business of suppressing innovation, in my opinion. That's strictly my opinion. And as a shareholder, by the way, I do own shares of IAC. I own a single share of IAC currently. And that is for my 13D filing. And that is for the protections involved and also the entitlements involved in being a shareholder of the company. So my opinion as a shareholder is very clear. I think the company can do a hell of a lot more than what it is currently doing, and it is shirking its responsibilities, shareholders, and not extracting the right amount of value, has a misguided position in MGM, which I accuse them of using as a channel to potentially launder money. Because given all the other things that are going on, and given media's presence and rights ownerships and all that kind of stuff, when you put a casino into the mix of all that on top of it, what the fuck are you doing, people? Why do you have 23% ownership of a casino when you are a media company? You're a media company. You're not a gambling company. You're not in that business of vertical at all. Media and gambling, no, they're not the same. They're very, very different, about as different as you could get. But the thing is, when you've got a casino, it almost acts like a bank. But it is entertainment focused, so that's one crossover. That's one vertical crossover. But the biggest thing that a casino can do for you, especially if you are in an intellectual property vertical, is as a way to launder a ton of money, not just through your media rights, but also, again, through the functions of gambling, casino chips. And it doesn't even need to be physical. It can be direct. It can be online now. So I accuse them of potential collusion that would violate RICO predicate. So do you really want a company that could potentially be RICO controlling what we consume in terms of what we think and influencing how we might feel? My answer is fuck no. So even if I am completely wrong, by all means, sue me. Sue me. The fact that no one has stood up and criticized that position just means that we are a country full of people who don't know what's going on, who are oblivious, who have been subjected to a smokescreen, or they are actively silencing people who do notice. And I'm not afraid of a legal battle. In fact, I crave this. I want you to know all my cards. I want to show you all of my cards. I am not here to hide behind anything. Well, except the cropping of this video, apparently. I don't know. To be honest, you really want to know the honest truth why the video is like this? It's because I can't shoot vertical. I can shoot vertical for shorts, but I can't shoot vertical for long form content. Otherwise, it screws up the borders and it makes it look just sloppy. And I'm not going to spend the time and energy editing my damn videos. Especially when I have a lot more work to do, and especially when we're talking about RICO predicate. And especially when we're talking about a whole bunch of other things. You know? It's like, there's only so much time in a day, and to get all the stuff that I need to say out is going to take a long time. So this is pretty good. Neil Cruz, I have no idea what he does. I don't know this guy. I don't know any of these guys, actually. I haven't watched baseball in a long time. I don't really watch the Idiot Box. I'll make the content. I'll play the sport. But, I don't really see and for me, I'm not a guy who likes to watch. I operate. I go in. I do things. That's how I do things. That's what I am. An operator. And, even if I did get sued at one point, you know what? Fine. Fine, I'll get sued. Whether or not I show up for the subpoena is another story. It depends. If it's civil court or whatnot, they can just rule it in whatever they want to freaking do. If it's going to be something more serious, then we figure it out. Certain things, there are certain courts that I've seen in this country that are outright crooked. This is Yankee, Anthony Volpe. There you go. That's a good card. It's not rookie, but it is foil, so that's cool. So you go up to Saratoga Springs, for example. I used to live in Saratoga County. I used to live in Clifton Park. It's about a couple hours south of where I grew up. And the problem with Saratoga is that their legal system, I allege, is completely corrupt. Like, absolutely corrupt. And doesn't know what they're doing. It's to the point where I do not find Albany Law School legitimate anymore. Basically, Saratoga operates on a good old boys network, and they are all about optics. And I allege that they have used pork barrel funds to build their facilities out in out by Ballston Spa, the new ones. They misuse money to do that. And I'm not really a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that kind of thing. They've also been under scrutiny, their controller and whatnot. They've been under scrutiny of violating FOIA requests. Not that I would actually go through and do FOIAs, because they just don't, when you go through the traditional legal channels, for example, like if you sue someone, or if you go through FOIA, you do a FOIA request, you do all these other, if you jump through all these hoops that the government has you do, you're basically just doing the whole dog and pony show type thing. It's a circus. If you want to get some real results, you go and you decide, you know what? I'm going to go buy out a public company. And the way you do that is you go and you get a list of investors and you email them. You make your intent known to the public company that you want to buy them out, and you give them the share price that you would buy them out for, or a number. And then you go and you set up an Edgar account, and then you file Schedule TO in Edgar. That's after you do all of your, that's after you do your whole application in Edgar with everything else. Once you've got Edgar access, then you do Schedule TO. And then you do you also want to buy a share of the company as you're doing all of this, so that way you can file 13D. The way that you go about funding a transaction, once you have all that in place, you start pitching investors and you form a syndicate. This keeps you from having to disclose any kind of proof of funds. Once you have that in place, and when you have all that, you then put pressure on the company, because they have to legally respond to you in 10 days from that Edgar filing. And if they don't, they're in violation with the Securities Act of 1934. So once you've got all that, it's going to be a problem for the public company, because now they're under scrutiny, and now they have to respond, and they will respond. And not only will they respond, they're going to try to also shut this down. And what you do is you have to cross-examine, you have to have a lot of questions in play, you have to have real reason and show real intent on trying to acquire them, because misrepresentations are punished severely under Schedule TO. Just goes like anything else. If you have a grievance or something, you tell the truth about it. You don't mess around. You don't do other stuff. So basically, that's the process I've entered into. And based off of all this, based off of those sorts of things, I see there are a lot of parallels with the stuff going on in upstate New York and my issues with a previous business partner that I've mentioned. I'm not going to provide more details than this because I do not want to go on the record and potentially discuss something that would be considered ex parte communication. Even though this is a disclosure for Schedule TO, and I am federally protected under these things, I do not want to reference active potential cases that are open and things of that nature, even though they do not really have much standing, or any standing, I should say. I don't believe they have much standing, but legally speaking, I do not believe they have any standing on the current matters. My current issue is that my YouTube channel was certainly subjected to a throttling and suppression campaign, not from YouTube's internal system, but from outside sources. And proof of that is in the fact that none of my videos were flagged, or no issue with saying that you've uploaded too much content was in place. It simply mimicked YouTube's general protocols. So even though it sort of mimicked it, there was no other outward response to this. So that leads me to believe that it was absolutely, and I wouldn't say it's beyond a reasonable doubt, but the preponderance of evidence is there that Interactive Corporation, and based off of the cumulative interactions with Interactive, that is exactly why this has been happening. So my response is not to sue. This is going back to the original point. My response is not to sue. My response is to scorch the earth. Dress them down, figure out what exactly is going on with their company, why they're misusing tools, figure out what they've got going on with their conflict of interest, because it looks like Apollo, it's one of the private equity companies. It looks like they certainly have a potential conflict of interest, a very material conflict of interest with this public company, IAC. So that's something that we're going to look into. Now this guy, Fortune 15, Mookie Betts, that looks pretty cool. I'm going to have to look into like what this card's about. I need to look into it. And then we got Christian Walker right here. Oh, not bad. These are all, I mean, like, you're going to get decent stuff out of this deck. They cost about $15 more than the regular ones, and they also give you less cards. But they're all relatively higher level cards, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I know that there are also those big boxes that go for like 300 something. So, I'm really looking for those auto cards, which I'm not running into right now. I'm running into like some nice foil looking stuff like this, but I'm not really looking into, I don't see anything else. I don't see it. And I'm going to have to get So, as like when I'm doing like most of these videos, while I'm doing this, I'm just fucking ranting, man. So I'm ranting it, but I'm also going on record saying these things. I'm filtered, so that's how it's, that's how you can also tell it's not bullshit. It's as candid as you can fucking get. At the end of the day, I have nothing to hide. If they want to go and they want to like say that I did something, this or that, I've also, my experience with Interactive Corporation goes back 12 years, okay? And I'm not going to disclose everything on this channel right now. Maybe later, maybe someday, I don't know. I haven't decided, it depends. But I also want to be able to allow people to actually go through the process and do their job. Because I want discovery to speak for itself. That's the problem with guys like Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. They just dumped everything in one shot. When you dump everything in one shot, you have absolutely no recourse. You have absolutely no conversation. So that's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that the system itself has delayed fuses, and people misuse whistleblower protections all the time. Not because they mean to, but because they don't understand how it actually is supposed to work. And, you know, that's pretty much the case. So, does that make me a rat and everything? Actually, it does not. And the reason why none of this makes me a rat is because I'm not actually suing. I'm conducting a hostile takeover. And while I'm bringing up a lot of potential problems and issues, and I'm going on record saying it, I'm also telling them, look, you know, this is what I'm accusing them of. And I want to leave it at that. I can accuse you, but when it comes to actually testifying in court, I'm not here to testify in court. I want to make sure that I know what the fuck I'm buying. So, if I'm buying a company, I want to know exactly where all their bones are buried, and I want them to resolve their issues before I go through and pull the trigger. Fair enough, right? That's just some rookie cards, some foil stuff, you know, nothing real crazy in this pack either. So, you know, I mean, like, and the funny thing is that, you know, that one that I pulled, the auto over here, this guy, Dave Festa, yeah, he's cool and whatnot. Yeah, that's his signature. But, you know, if he fails, if he doesn't become somebody, it's a $5 card, not a $100 card. Yeah, and like I said before, a big reason why people get into baseball cards and Pokemon cards is because they can't, you know, it's become impossible to do anything else sometimes. What, you want us all to become drug dealers or something? People have went and replaced stocks with cardboard, basically, over the years. They view it as an asset class that will maintain and preserve its value and will continue to appreciate in value. So I see nothing wrong with owning these things long term at all. Just be ready. When the market goes against you, though, the market really goes against you in this game. I say it goes against you, I mean it's brutal. You're not going to be able to sell anything. Even though people are willing to sell for like $100 or $200, doesn't mean there's actual movement. So, that pretty much covers it. If you want to see more of this content, you know, like, subscribe. If you have questions, if you want to leave your mark down there, you know, because in my filings it's also going to say, it also says in there, I need proof that you actually saw this. So if you comment down there, like this, dislike it for all I care. If you're SEC, like this. If you are opposing counsel, hit your thumbs down. You know, do that. Leave a comment. Leave your mark. You know, as long as you can show, time-stamped, that, yeah, I was here, I saw Steve's things, you're good to go on that. Hit the box check, and honestly, this kind of probably is a little bit entertaining for you to watch, because most people with their crap are dry, boring, and this stuff's very granular. So, all said and done, thank you for your time here. This has been just another video, and then I've got one more box to do.